So the next step, next part that we're going to work on, we're going to get this lined up with the grid. Let's turn on snapping for just a second. Okay, and what we're going to do, select the media item, go to item, item processing, and dynamic split. And so this is where we had problems in class. Now, what you'll see if you look closely is that we have these lines that are showing up throughout the track, throughout the media item. And what they're doing is dynamically tracking the transient, the attacks of all of these different nodes. Here, we have an item where it's detected essentially it's been too sensitive. It's detected a transient where we don't necessarily want one. But for now, that's fine. We're going to leave it. We can fix it after the fact. So once you've got all of these lines selected, you'll have the option to split, and that will dynamically split up these lines. And you'll see what's happened is you've split the media items, but also you have these little white triangles that have shown up. And what those are items that allow you to snap, instead of snapping to the beginning of your file, you're snapping to those little white lines. So the grid is here. So normally you would be snapping, your media file would snap here, but now it's snapping there, because essentially it's saying, this is really where the strongest part of the beat is, and so that's what we want to have at the on the grid. Okay, so over here, what do? I said we could fix this after the fact. So select both. So you can do that either by right-clicking and selecting, or you can select one and then shift and click on the other to select that. And then we'll go to item and heal split items. And now you see you no longer have that problem. So, okay. So now let's say we want to set our tempo to 98. Okay, so let's go back over here, and we'll see. We'll play this back with the metronome and see how it's doing, and see how we're doing. Okay, so it's close at points, sort of, but it's not quite there, and you can kind of see that if you were sort of zoomed in, that items are not quite lining up with the grid. So what we're going to do is select a few. You don't want to select them all at once. Select a few of these, so right click and select and drag. And then we're going to go to item, item processing, quantize items to grid. And we're going to just see, we're going to try it and see how it does. So, okay, and so it looks promising. Notice, I'm going to show you one thing. So if you right click on here, notice that I have the grid lines spaced to 1/8. So that's an eighth note, rather than you have options for quarter note, half note, whole note, etc. And you'll notice when I'll do this again, I'll quantize. I'll drag these items over a little bit so that they're as close as possible, and then I will item processing and quantize positions to grid. Now, when I say, oh, I forgot to point it out. Okay, so we'll just do another chunk. So you can see, just looking to see, okay, where are things getting a little out of line. So and they start to get off a little bit over here. So I'm gonna do this again. Item processing, quantize position period. Now, again, what I was trying to point out was that we have the same, as we had the grid to eighth nodes, we also have the quantize option to eighth nodes. So let's process that. Interesting. Look what happened over here. You notice you saw things stretching, what have you. Over here, this item hopped over because it was closer physically to the grid line on the right. It went in the wrong direction. So when that happens, you're likely going to have to go through the process again. Now you can see that we now are in time and tempo. And we've changed from 94 to 98. So again, you're going to have the most success. You're going to find things easiest to tweak when the changes are subtle.